Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. Still trying to get over a cold. Yeah, what time is it? 1:58 p.m. Yep. It says 38 degrees. A little warmer. Not quite 100%. Hey, let me tell you about this car again. And we mentioned that I seem to hear like a fan noise whenever the heater is on, right? And then it went away, and then now it's back again. I think it's temperature related. Yeah, when the weather turned cold, I couldn't hear it. Now that it's a little warmer again, I could hear that fan noise again. Go figure. Oh, here's another tidbit that's interesting. We made a comment before that I kind of felt like Apple was letting us down because they told us that we would get software in our computers that would be supported for life, right? And then they said, now we're not going to support it anymore. We're not going to support it anymore, and we're going to a subscription. Remember that? Well, here's what they should have been a little bit clearer in saying, because I found out they won't support that version of the software, but they are going to support the Pages and Numbers program. This is their equivalent of Word and Excel, okay? It says they will support it, but you have to download the most recent version. Now, had it made it clearer like that, it wouldn't feel so bad, okay? But they didn't make it as clear in the way that they worded it. They're telling you to download it, okay? Well, the thing is that some people, including myself, thought that if I download it, then am I going to have to go to the subscription? And the answer is no. You can download the program, but you don't get the subscription. You don't have to pay for the subscription if you don't want the subscription service. So I kept thinking, well, what am I going to get with the subscription service? Not that I would do it. And that's not really 100% clear. They just said you get some additional features in it. Okay. What are the additional features? And you get a couple extra programs that I don't see myself ever really using. So I am not a candidate for a subscription, that's for sure. First off, I wouldn't pay for the subscription because Russ is cheap. I told you guys. I'm not paying for that. Forget it. So I downloaded the most recent version of those two programs, and yeah, they work. Yeah. So I just uninstalled the older versions of Pages and Numbers, and now I have the new version. I'm not really sure what the new version does, but you have to download it, because if you don't download it, they're not supporting the other two anyway. So you're kind of stuck. I mean, it'll work, but it won't be supported with any new updates or anything, or if there's any bug fixes, it's not going to be taken care of. Okay. So yeah, if you have an Apple device, a laptop or something, you might want to do that. Okay, so that's that. I made a video earlier this morning talking about the backstory behind the things that were happening at the trade show and my thoughts about it. And as I was editing all that stuff, I was like still kind of responding to comments that were coming in on that video. Yeah, we were talking a lot about this whole trade show thing this last week or so. But it seems that people were interested in it. I don't know why they were so interested in it, but I'm glad you are. Maybe people wanted to see, what do you see at a dealer trade show? Yeah. I mean, I've been to a number of different type of trade shows. This is not my first. Okay, I've been to quite a few trade shows, different industries, including consumer electronic shows and the like. But the bike show, I would say, is interesting in that it was small enough that it's not like you can't get through there. I mean, if you go to like a CES, it's so crowded. I mean, it's a big show and it's still so crowded. Not so on the bike show. I mean, this is considered the Midwest show for this organization, and So obviously not the entire United States is here. It's just that, Midwest people are coming through. But the one thing that people said, well, what is the thing that most surprised you? And I said that, yeah, it was the Amish people that were there. I was not expecting to see that, but it was pointed out to me that some of the Amish will embrace certain technologies if it enhances their life doing things that are, and of course maybe not too far into the extreme of the technology, but it seemed like the e-bikes were something they were also interested in. So I don't know. I mean, I would tend to think they still use electricity. Don't they use electricity? I don't know enough about the Amish to know what they use and what they don't use. But if they use electricity, then I would tend to think that plugging in an electric bike might not be so bad of a thing. But you never know. I don't know what's allowed and what's not allowed. I just always kind of thought that the Amish were people who shunned technology and things like that. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe things are changing. I have no idea. But if you look on the video, on the dealer trade show video, you'll see them there. Yeah, look closer. Go back and check it again, okay? And you'll see them there. The ladies are wearing the traditional dresses with their head covered, and the guys, have beards and hats. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You can point them out really quick, okay? And talking to one of the guys at U3, we were kind of guessing, well, where are they all coming from? And we were guessing, Indiana, Ohio, maybe even Kentucky. Yeah. So I mean, you have to know where they are and why it would be common. And if this is a Midwest show, it would be. And if they're interested enough to embrace that type of technology, then obviously they would come to this type of show as well. But this is a dealer show, so my question is, do they sell that? I mean, somebody's got to sell them bicycles. I'm sure there's people who are Amish that have bicycle shops, I would tend to think, right? I mean, a bicycle is not something they would not use. They would use bicycles, right? It's just like the horse-drawn carriage. Somebody's got to sell that, right? They still make horse-drawn carriages for them. Somebody's got to be selling that. Bicycles would be there too. So thinking about it, I said, well, if they use bikes and e-bikes are coming out, would they use an e-bike? Anyone who knows for sure that they do, put a comment and let me know. Let me know your thoughts on that too. I would like to see them embrace it. I think that would be helpful for them. Many people have mentioned, this whole regulation stuff that's coming down and, let's cut back the wattages, let's slow down the speeds and all that. But many people said, you kind of sometimes need a higher wattage bike with more torque to get over hills. That's true. And it seems like, the lawmakers sometimes don't realize that. Not everyone who gets a high-powered bike rides it at a high rate of speed, all right? Sometimes you need that high power just to get over a hill. And if you live in areas that have big, tall hills, that would be kind of tough to ride a bike. I mean, I don't know how bad it could be because I'm in Illinois. I mean, we're pretty flat. We may have a little incline here or there, but not like some of these other places that, if you try to ride a bike up that hill, you're never going to make it, right? If you go too long, you're going to be huffing and puffing like crazy. So having a more powerful motor to do that is beneficial. So maybe, even in places like that, I mean, if they make it difficult for everybody to get these higher power bikes, maybe in places like that, they should allow a more powerful bike to be sold so that you can get over the hills. More than one person had commented, it says, well, what if you bought an e-bike to go to work and you have to go over stuff like the hills? That's a very good point. Have these people thought about that, when they're making the laws? And then all of a sudden the regulation comes down and now the guy can't use it. How's he going to get to work then? That's not for me. That's on the other side of the... If you heard that truck was honking at somebody, I guess maybe somebody cut him off. Anyway, have they thought about those people? Yeah, people who need it to get to work and have to climb a hill. What do they do, right? I mentioned on a recent video as well about, you know, companies like the Rambo bike. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I don't know how good it really is, but, you know, they have a dual motor bike that's in their line. I mean, I think they all were dual motors. I'm not really sure. I didn't look close enough. I have to go back and look at my own recording. But I was thinking about that. I says, you know, they were not really all about speed. Now, I'm sure they probably go a certain speed, but they weren't making their bikes like that for that purpose. They're making it so that you can get through a forest preserve or something like that with a dead animal in the back. I mean, because they're made for the hunting market, right? So think about that. If they made all those things illegal, but you know, they say that you can use things like Class 3 or any of these other things in private property, but not everywhere they go to go hunting is private property, is it? I mean, I'm sure there are people who have private property and they hunt off their own private properties, but there's a number of hunters that don't hunt off their own private properties. You know, they hunt in the legalized areas of hunting. I don't know if you guys know, but I like watching a lot of the outdoor type YouTube videos as well. You know, I was watching things like Outdoor Boys and Deer Meat for Dinner and some of the other outdoor type videos. You know, for guys like that, having an e-bike, to be able to ride an e-bike to wherever they're going, and then if they do, you know, hunt something like a deer or a wild boar or something like that, getting that back to their truck is not an easy thing to do. You know, having to drag that back yourself, and let's say you walk out a mile or two away from where you parked, it's not going to be that easy. But having an e-bike, to be able to do that, well, you need something with some power, you know, because you're going through different areas that, I mean, it's not like smooth roads like I'm riding in. So I just wanted to say that, you know, I recognize too, sometimes you need a little bit of power, a little bit more torque, maybe a double motor system too. So put a comment. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. I think it's short-sighted sometimes on the lawmakers will make decisions about what's good and bad, but I think certain applications, they need to leave it alone. Oh, one more thing. Others have said, what about the handicapped people who buy e-bikes or e-trikes to get around? It's true. What about those guys? Now you just kind of cut in their ability to do it. I mean, even for myself, although I'm not handicapped at this point to the point where I can't walk, because obviously I walk the trade show, right? But if you watch that show, you can see me struggling towards the end of the show walking around, because I don't look like I'm walking normal anymore at that point. You can see me hobbling a little bit. So, and I ride an e-bike. So there you go. So anyways, put a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this whole issue of, you know, taking the laws and changing things, and how do you think that might be affecting people who actually need the e-bike and application of the e-bike for certain applications. I mean, you may not be a hunter. I'm not a hunter. I just fish, but I could appreciate why that bike would be important for them. So let me know your thoughts on that. Hit the like and subscribe button. Talk to you guys next time.